For sure. Right, it's
Yep.
good.
So with that
Yeah.
said, brother Jahlil, welcome to the Pachyderm Podcast.
Appreciate you having me on here, bro. D.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell the folks a little bit about yourself, man.
Ah, man, it's a lot. I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start with the talented,
Okay.
originally called the talented 10.
Hmm.
But yeah. I just I came out to Berkeley High my junior year. Um, and originally I was part of the BSU. Not to throw no shade on them or nothing, but my first 2 years with them, or really like the first year with them, I really didn't, you know, I was expecting a lot more in
Hmm.
terms of like outreach and just like the opportunities we had, man. Because especially in Berkeley, we still have the Panthers who are still alive, still active in the community and it was just too much out here.
And just to give some context, you as a black male at Berkeley High, y'all are
Yeah.
really the minority, right? The numbers wise.
The
What?
minority it is bad, bro. Because I was in the AC school,
Mhm.
and that was really just like white kids. So really, that in most of my classrooms, I would be the only black student, the only black male student
Hmm.
at that. So I would. It was just a lot of things I peeped, man. Just it was kind of like shady, especially on the administrative side of it,
Hmm.
and I just saw the double standard with everything, because like I said, most of my classes was just like white students. That was the majority,
Hmm.
and I would see them every day act up. You know what I mean? I seen the smoking. You feel me? Sharing pills and shit. Just like acting up with the teachers. Just talking to them crazy. You feel me? But the few black students that would do like the most minor things, like lesser degrees,
Hmm.
they would get sent to the alternative school.
Mm.
You feel me? So I saw a lot of that like my first year at Berkeley, and that just never sat right with me. So that on top of like I mentioned earlier, like stuff with the BSU, I just felt like um, we could do a lot more.
Did you feel like any safe spaces were created there for black, for the particularly for the black male experience at Berkeley High? Would you say that's part of what inspired you to, you know what, since it's not here, I'm gonna create it?
Absolutely, absolutely. It was uh, it was if I couldn't do it, somebody had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah, it was a necessity at that point. Um, so I'm I I don't like I've never been the type to really like complaining.
Mm-hmm.
I hate when other folks complain about stuff and like don't actually like do something about it.
Right.
So like my second year, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna like start like my own group
Mm-hmm.
and have my own like little agenda and we'll see where that goes.
And
So
how was that received initially? And what went into putting this together? Okay, I have this idea. I see this need in this void. What was that experience like, brother? You singular person here at school, and I'm sure at the time you didn't notice the seeds that you planted, and we're gonna get into that. But like, what were some of the challenges in just starting this group?
man, it's crazy because like doing like the initial outreach, I reached out to a lot of folks, even the alternative school, B Tech.
Mm-hmm.
I contacted administrators from there to see if they if they wanted to reach out to the young black men at Berkeley High, you know I told them, you know, what I was going for, and really just the main point of it was just mentorship. That's all it was. Like, you know, the name or logo of the group or whatever. I really like. It's not like I'm not saying I didn't care about that, but like that wasn't like the main point of it. Like I like you said, I wanted a space for young Black men at Berkeley High because that just wasn't present. So that was one of the main points of like friction for some folks. Like a lot of people had like issues with like the original name of the group, the Talented 10, because you know they felt it was elitist.
So they got caught up in ideology.
They got caught up in that, right? You know, and you know, I'm not gonna say no names, but it, you know, some even like, you know, certain members of like or former members of the Black Panther Party. It was like a whole back and forth with that. Not even really like a back and forth, because you know I'm not gonna go back and forth with OG like that. But like really just them kind of like getting on me like over the phone type. You feel me? But like
can't see the forest, but can't see the forest for the trees though.
Right.
I was like, not coming at you on some how can I assist? Let me just critique you and beat you over your head.
Getting on my ass. But I'm like, you know what? It's cool. Like I understood what they was coming from, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm gonna still do what I do, because like I know the meaning for me was different from like how they was viewing it. Like I wasn't coming at it from that elitist point of view, or just like, yeah. If anything, I was trying to bring everybody I could in.
And what was that? And what was that like, brother? How was that received by other Black males on campus at Berkeley High?
Give me 1 second. My fault.
All good.
My fault.
How was the recruitment? How did that go? And how was it received by other Black males at Berkeley High? Where everybody like, yes, we've been waiting on something like this? Or what was some of the obstacles in even recruiting Black males, this group of you set this group up for? What was that experience like initially?
Well, you know, you know me, I'm real like persistent. You know, especially like starting off, I was just like, you know, I was just real hungry, because the vibes I was getting like when like a few folks from like the BSU was kind of, you know, getting hip to the fact that, you know, I was kind of doing my own thing. I don't know, they was kind of like, you know, looking at me like, oh, you know. Yeah.
And how about the perception of it, you know, being a group that's unapologetically male, unapologetically Black? How's that necessarily received, you know, on campus by these, you know, supposedly Black organizations and groups or whatever? What was that experience like when they kind of saw that, okay, yeah, this is really what this brother is about with this group?
They, you know, it was kind of like it was some support, but it didn't, you know, it ain't feel all the way genuine. I'm not gonna lie. It just, you know, which was kind of like disappointing, because you know, ideally I would want all of us to work together to some degree. You know, I would want like the talented, you know, we could still be like independent on our own thing, but you know, to come together, because at the end of the day, it was still about like the Black students as a collective. So it wasn't like, you know, I was just putting all the ego aside. You know what I mean? But you know, it just kind of like felt funny,
right?
Like just like little comments here and there, but I really didn't like trip over it like that. And in regards to like the recruitment, I feel like that was probably like the easiest part, because like I said, I am persistent. A lot of the brothers that are members were members. Like I knew them personally, or to some extent, like I would always be seeing dudes like right across the street at the Y. Like these are like dudes I would be hooping with, or dudes I would just see like going like class to class, stuff like that. Or
Mhm.
like, even like former members of the BSU.
Mhm.
You feel me? So the recruitment wasn't, that much of a hassle.
Mhm.
I think I had a harder I think the I had a harder time like trying to get a room
Mm.
for trying to get a room for just to have the means, you feel me?
Right.
Mm.
And in terms of legacy, here's a group now that's now going into its 5th year. Did you picture that? This first year, what your outreach was when you first reached out to me and brother Mike. What were you envisioning that first year? And now here we are at year 5, like, and it's still there. What feelings do you have? This is something that you birthed, and I told you way back then. I wasn't I wasn't sure if you were aware of like what you really started, in that it has stood the test of time, because as you've spoken to in terms of the obstacles and the lack of support, me and you both have had these conversations that you were a senior the first year this group started. Not many people, let's just be real, expected this group to still be around. Really, probably a lot of them expected it to crumble after you left. So what has this been? How does it feel that this group that you started specifically for these brothers here, who membership has stayed solid, the brotherhood, and we'll get into that in a minute. Here we are in year 5, Jahlil. How does that make you feel?
The old made me feel hella old. These I be running into cats that was like freshmen when this whole thing first started. Now they about to be like they seniors or graduating seniors. They taller than me now. They got more facial hair. They got the little bass in their voice. I feel hella old. I know I'm not old. I know like I be
No,
talking
not
to
at all.
OGs talking about something. I feel old. They're like, oh, you ain't. What you talking about? But it made me feel old, man. Cause like, man, like time flies. Like, and it's a trip. Cause like anytime I talk to you or brother like Naeem, like, cause y'all always like saying stuff like that. Like, man, like just the time that's passed, and and it's just crazy. Cause like when this whole thing started off, like, I was just happy to get past like 1 year, you feel me? Because it wasn't like it was really like the school, Berkeley High wasn't really giving no assistance. Like I can't,
And let's
kind
give
of
some
like
more context. This is a group, this is the most important part. This is a group that you started. It was after school.
mm-hmm,
Attendees didn't receive any classroom units, any extra credit, yet these brothers
mm-hmm.
were showing up 25, 40 deep for a class after school that they received no credits and no units for.
Yes, sir. Every week,
Unheard
every
of.
Wednesday at what, like 3:30.
At 3:30,
Every
that's still to
Wednesday,
get down.
3:30.
Numerous guests who come through. Every guest that came and spoke always made that same comment, which was, and it's a testament to you. Like, bro, we don't see this. I've never seen anything like this. How does
Look,
that make you feel?
look, look. Every time you say that, I'm gonna say the same thing. That the students really just had that respect for you, bro. I can never take credit for just I guess the cohesion, really, because I think you really like glued all that together, and even when I was like first like kind of like trying to figure out like, all right, like how is this gonna go, like, you know am I gonna be the one like talking to these kids every day, like, like I said, when I was like recruiting, like most of the dudes like I kind of like knew, but it wasn't like to that personal level to where like they just gonna like take advice from me off
Mhm.
rip like that. Like it wasn't that level, that type of relationship. You feel me?
Mhm.
So like I knew I had to have like an OG, like really just like talk to these kids. You feel me? Or like talk to dudes even my age. Because I know they would just receive it differently. And just seeing just like how I met you out in West Oakland.
Right.
I that really just stuck with me. You just that one session I went to,
Mhm.
that stuck with me, and you know, even how you kept in touch afterwards. I'm like, you know, this is, you know, the type of dude I could already like envision. Like I know you know, you would demand that certain level of respect, but at the same time, like you really know how to talk to youngins. So, you know, that was like the main element right there. You know, I was like, you know, as long as I can get them in the classroom on time, you feel me, and just just kind of like establish a routine, bro D can just, you know, kind of like take it from there. You
You
feel
threw me
me?
the ultimate alley-oop, brother. I'm gonna give that credit right back to you. In all of that, it was your idea, and you've been the vessel, and which is why I pledged to never let it fall on my watch, because you created a legacy, brother. It was easy. It was something, although, like you said, we never had a connection to admin or nothing like that, but you created like this blueprint that has been infallible thus far. Because I said, anybody telling the truth would not say that they thought that this group would have lasted this long. Not at all. And I mean,
Man,
and the reality is you created something that they're being fed. Because like I said, everybody, when I say everybody was come to be a special guest speaker, has said they've never seen anything like this. How the brothers greet each other, the eye contact, the firm handshakes, the one word check-ins,
the
how they,
one word check-ins.
bro, protocol. And I
Hey,
mean,
I got
go ahead.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, not at all.
I gotta, like I said, like ain't even all on me. Even the one word check-in, I gotta give shout out to bro Michael, because you know, even when I was like, this is like way before, like months before this whole thing even started. You know, I'm just stressing out, thinking like, yo, like what's gonna be like, you know, the format, like the daily or weekly routine, you feel me? And he, you know, he was kind of laying that all down for me. Even like the one word check-in. He said, you know, always start with that. Just you gotta make sure you know where each member is at, and just kind of establish that, you know, that's important. You know, you gotta know where each person's head is at. So I just want to
Speaking,
give a shout out to him for that.
most definitely. And speaking of that, brother, mental health was an element that you brought when we're talking about safe spaces for young black males. How important was for you in that element being brought and made like a pillar in this group where mental health is talked about and discussed? A lot of brothers have discussed a lot of deep things. And as you said, in terms of respect, I think the most important thing was that brothers felt safe enough to share. And you were there on many of these sessions. These brothers shared some deep personal things, but had the safety and knowing that it never left the room. I mean, to this day, 5 years later, brothers were able to share with each other things that they didn't share with anybody else, and the fact that they felt that comfortable to share it. Why do you think, and how do you feel about, how important is it that mental health, particularly when we're talking about black males, black boys, black men, how important is mental health, this discussion for us to have?
I mean, it's the most important thing, and you know it just goes hand in hand with you know the lack of like a space for young black men, because you know it wasn't a real outlet, you know, to really like express yourself without being misunderstood by teachers or non-black classmates or whoever, you know, and that takes a toll on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That takes a toll on anybody not you know, being able to speak a piece or you know, just be honest about wherever you at. So, and you know, the whole premise of the group, you know, a lot of that came from like stuff I felt like I was lacking, just that camaraderie, especially you know, being a new student. You know, I really just kept to myself most of the time, and even just being surrounded by a number of white students, you feel me? That was kind of in at times. So I can only imagine what it was like to, just trying to be yourself and then getting sent to like alternate school for it. You feel me? Just getting cast aside. Like it just wasn't right. You feel me? So mental health, that was like the number one thing. That was the number one thing, because it wasn't really that wasn't a focus for us at that school or a lot of other schools.
Right. Most definitely. So what has been up with Brother Jahlil post Berkeley High, brother? What's been the journey since graduation from Berkeley High?
It's been all over the place,
3 years now?
It's been all over the place, man. But it's been, I just been growing up, Yeah.
Where'd you end up going to school after Berkeley High?
Howard University, HU.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. What year are you at Howard now?
I'm going to be senior now.
Okay. Wow. You talking about time flashing. Wow.
Man.
Senior, brother. What's your major at Howard?
Film and television.
That's what's up. What projects have you been able to work on since being at Howard? I know you did something one summer with Brother Nate Parker, right?
Yeah. That was actually right before, or that was the summer after I graduated from Berkeley. Yeah, right before my freshman year at Howard. That was dope. That really just I always kind of like knew I wanted to pursue like a career in film. But that really just like sealed it in right there. Just working with Mr. Parker, and just meeting all different sorts of people who wanted to do different things in film. It really just opened my eyes to, I want to be able to be in this space where it is Black folk just like working on one thing, because it's just it's a dope environment, man. I just have fun. Even like, look, we had to shoot a whole short in like less than 2 days. And, in any other setting, I feel like, or different cast of people, I feel like it would have been a headache, right? Because like literally the morning or the night before we were shooting, we were still doing rewrites of scripts. The writers must have did like 5-6 rewrites, some crazy shit, right? But
a real trial by fire.
Man, we were stressing because we was like, oh, Nate, he's gonna come back. He's gonna be on set like the first day or the first or second day. He's gonna be on set. We gotta have this going. We can't show up empty-handed. We gotta have something to present to bro. So, one way or another, we got it done. But just that whole process of just shooting everybody and just how patient everybody was with each other, and we just knew how to communicate with each other. And I think that was we can only do that because like we all just relate to each other on that type of level. You feel me? Like, yeah, it was real fun, man. It was just fun. Yeah.
Another film project you were connected with as well with Brother Bruce Riley here in Oakland, right?
Yes, sir. That was the year before. I think that was after my junior year in high school.
That was the film Sorry to Bother You?
Sorry to Bother You, yes, sir.
What was that experience like?
That whole thing was a trip. Because when I tell you, like, nobody on set, like, well, of course, like the main actors, they had like they knew what the story was about. When I tell you, like, everybody on set, like the extras, we was all confused. Like, I was on there as an extra, and it was just like certain scenes we didn't know what was going on. I mean, we was getting paid, so we was going along with it, but it was a trip, man. Like, I remember it was like one scene I don't know if you seen the movie or not, but it was like this one scene where Tessa Thompson, like her character, was doing like the little art show, or she was doing like the little, you know what I mean, she was doing her performance, and we all had to throw the balloons at her. And I think it was like one of the takes. Actually, not yet. It was like we had to throw like the balloons with the fake blood at her. Mm-hmm. And then it was another take where we had to throw like these little plastic phones at her, right? Or these little like, like the little fake phones at her. And, and like right when I think Boost had said cut, but I was already in the motion of throwing it. So like, all right, let that thing go. Like as soon as he said cut, that thing hit it right in the dome. I was like, oh. So I had to like hide in front of somebody. I think she was low-key looking for like who did it. But nah, that was dope too. Cause I think I was only on set for like 3 or 4 days. And it's funny because like the first 2 days, like I really just like showed up on my own because like my auntie's gallery, the Joyce Gordon gallery, they was like filming like a few blocks away from that. Like I didn't really know like where exactly they were shooting, like which street they were shooting on. Mm-hmm. But I think like earlier that day, I saw Lakeith Stanfield because I had followed him on Twitter, and he was talking about like we need extras, like everybody, like anybody downtown Oakland would like pull up. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Because I didn't because I was over my auntie's gallery. I didn't see none. She's like, oh yeah, just keep going down. I'm like, they looking for folks. I'm like, all right. So I literally just walked on myself. Like I wasn't even trying to get no bread from her. Like I was just excited just to be on set. Like when they say like, if it's something you love, like, you know something you love when you don't need no money for it. Like that's real. Cause like I could have went those 4 days. They couldn't have paid me nothing. I would have had a blast regardless, bro. That was just like that's like the most fun I have whenever I'm on set for anything. Even like I said, the Nate Parker thing. Like that's like the most fun I've ever had, man.
So you being on this path, sort of like the alchemist, brother. You've been with this project with brother Nate Parker, with brother Boots Riley. You also have a project called Akili Blue, brother. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah. That's that's something I started. I want to say like my sophomore year at Howard. That's still going through like a few drafts. Like I kind of like picked it up and put it down a few times. Just with like school and everything, just trying to balance that out. But it's really kind of like I took a lot of it. Excuse me, a lot of it is really just based off of like aspects of my life, and even starting off with like the Talented 10. I really took a lot from that. Mm-hmm. So that's really, it's fun working on that. I'm really excited to get back on that. I'm currently working on that and like another project that I want to start production on. Like I'm aiming at the beginning of like next year, early next year. But I'm really excited, man. I think going back to the East Coast is really gonna give me a chance to like really like lock in on some like a few projects I've been wanting to like actually like make happen. So
and what's the name of your production company, brother?
Oh, Tribe Productions.
Tribe Productions. Okay. Remember that name, y'all.
With 2 eyes.
Most definitely. So in addition, brother, to being a student, being an actor, being a writer, being a director, you've also dropped a mixtape. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Man, it's just crazy how that all came together. Because at the beginning of last year, like when like Kobe died, and I tore my Achilles like maybe like a few days after. Like that week sucked, man. That was a shitty week. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, after all that, you know, I was just like, you know, I was in this space where I couldn't really like move a lot. Like it was a struggle just to like use the bathroom, you feel me? So it was just like, damn, like I really kind of like fell into like a little depression. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like just not, I wasn't like, this was like a new space for me. Like I've never been able, I've never been in a place where I just couldn't be mobile or just like move around. Like I was always, you feel me, just active, you know, so you know, it just took me a minute to readjust my thinking. And, you know, I'm just like, whatever I do, I never want to be like stagnant. You know, I think that I really like learned a lot just from that experience. You're just like, I can't, whatever I want to do, like I just gotta hop on it. You feel me? And I know for years prior, like I always like wanted to do music. I love rap. You know, I just love music in general, just like mixing genres and stuff like that. So I was just like, you know, fuck it. And I was telling my boy Brandon, like when I tore my Achilles, you know, I'm like, well, shit, I ain't got no choice but to like start, you know, start on something, like start writing, because I'm gonna have all the time in the world. I'm just gonna be sitting around now. You feel me? Until, you know, I start, you know, physical therapy and all that. And he's like, bro, go ahead, do the mixtape, bro. I'm like, shit. So, you know, I tore, I ruptured my Achilles. Yeah, that was like the end of January. And yeah, from then on, you know, I just start, you know, finding all these beats that I've been like playing on loop. I was like, you know, I'm just gonna start writing to that. And, you know, I guess, you know, Kobe was like a big influence on that, just like honing in on something. I just like the type of like mode I got in, like whenever I was recording something, like it was just like nothing. It was like nothing could really distract me at that point. And I just like how I felt whenever I was doing that. You know, I still feel that way. Anytime I'm recording something, just like laying something down, you know, just that level of focus. And, you know, I just want to keep building on that. But yeah, I think I finally ended up dropping like the beginning of July. Yeah, July 1st or 2nd. Yeah. It's been like over a year since I first put up the mixtape. But even now, like, you know, I'm still working on just being a better artist all around. You know, I want to be, you know, the best in everything I do. You feel me? Especially rap, because, you know, it's just like, you know, it's just it's like a competitive sport. You feel me? I think that's why I've always kind of like leaned towards that. I'm just a real competitive dude. So it's fun, man. I just like I said, I like how I feel when I'm doing it, man. It's just real locked in. And, you know, I can feel myself getting better. I can hear myself progressing. It's even with the new stuff I've been recording so far. Ain't dropped yet, but it's better than what I put out before. So I'm excited about that. And, you know, especially
and that's yet another area where you're leading the charge, brother. As I'm sure you've seen, so many of these brothers that have been in the group since you started it are already like your little brothers anyway. And y'all can damn near have a talented mixtape pretty soon with so many of these cats dropping projects. And I think you set the bar in a whole lot of ways, first of all, just from your leadership, just in general. But I've noticed how a lot of these brothers have kind of, you know, you've been a trailblazer in a lot of ways. And on that note, when we talk about, you know, we always talk about legacy and class, you know, we joked about the 20-year reunion with this group, right? We're about to be in year 5. What's going to be, let's go 15 years out, brother. What do you want the legacy to be in terms of you and your connection to this group when by that time, Lord bless you, have your son or your daughter or plural, and you're at the 20th, the 20th anniversary, brother, and you know, I'm giving the mic to you. This is the brother who started this group. What is that gonna I know I'm asking you to predict the future, but just I really want you to visualize 20th year of this group. Everybody here that's a freshman in this group, you started this 20 years ago. They've heard your name because Brother D gonna make sure they know your name. What do you envision that feeling like, man? That man, I started this 20 years ago. By this time, probably 1,000 cats that been through this group. All kind of alumni are there. What's going through your mind?
Man, I mean, you know, in terms of just the example I want to set for anybody, just stepping into the group or, stepping in positions of leadership, whatever, just just lead your own path, bro. Just take control. Just take control of your destiny. You know, if it's something you setting out to do, then just do it. You feel me? Because, in regards to like starting out the group or doing the music or doing film, like, I've always like you always gonna like run into people who's gonna try like deter you from your path. But if you want to do it, man, if you truly want it, you just gotta do it. And that I'm still learning that. You gotta keep your word to yourself. You feel me? Yeah, you gotta see it through. Just always see it through. So if it's anything I want to be known for is someone who just goes all the way.
Most definitely. Well, Brother Jahlil, I definitely thank you for being on here, man. This is a pleasure on so many different levels having you on this show because I know you, but I got to come across like I don't know you. And I know your potential. And like I said, that first year, I was throwing everything at you and you caught all of it and didn't complain the whole time. And I'm like, this dude is solid on a few levels. And the bar is always going to be set so high, as it should, though. Like,
hey, dude, I wasn't expecting you to want to keep doing the talent after the first meet. I thought like after the first meet, I was like, damn, like I gotta find somebody else.
I know these cats are sick of this story, but I tell this all the time. That's why I'm saying, brother, one project we got to do, this group has to be a documentary. I'm glad I have so much footage that I have saved in photos because just the whole way it came to be to people on the outside don't make sense to them. I'm already sure. Like he meets this guy in the summer at a program, invites him to come do one workshop, and 5 years later the dude is still there.
Still wrong. It's still
like
wrong.
Where do you see something like that? But the reality was what I saw, just like how you say, I knew you knew when you met me that this is what this was going to be. I knew when I met you, like this dude is what he's really centering this in is something that's divine. And that it's a blessed thing. You were a vessel to carry this, and any and everybody couldn't do it. And this is what I'm saying. How do I know that? Is by all means, it should have crumbled after you left. I'm the one that set this up. I'm the one that built this, and then I graduate and I leave without really knowing what's gonna happen after I'm gone. And the fact that it has stood this test of time, brother. This is the 5th year, bro. Moody is a senior this year. Like he's the capstone to this whole thing. My little cousin is 10 now.
Man, he got big. That tripped me out seeing pictures of her. That tripped me out.
In 5 years, he'll be able to go to Berkeley High. This is what I'm talking about, time and legacy. And this cat still say to this day, I'm going to the big school. That's what he called Berkeley High. I'm going to the big school when I get into high school. Again, brother, legacy. And I mean, the accolades that you shoot me, don't take it that I don't appreciate it, but I'm just your reflection, bro, because you were the brainchild. This wouldn't have worked nowhere else. Let me just say that. It wouldn't have worked with nobody else starting this. That's just the reality. I'm from Oakland, bro, and I do wish a cat from Oakland at one of these high schools would have thought of something like this, but the reality was that's not where it was meant to be. Where it was meant to be was at Berkeley High that year, with you starting it. And that's the only reason why it's lasted this test of time. If this had any other scenario, it wouldn't have lasted. We wouldn't be going into year 5. It would have been done after the first year. and it would have been a bygone story, and nobody would have. It'd have been okay. Yeah, this guy did a great thing that year. That would have been it. But it's a testament to you, brother. That's what it. And I'm gonna always make sure, as I play it to you all the time, long as my hands is out and can move and I can breathe, bro, you're always gonna get the acknowledgement. A name and a face is always gonna be put to this, because that's another thing on the flip side of legacies that we allow to happen. You know, okay, Black Studies started at Berkeley High, but what average person can tell you who the person's name was? See what I'm saying? Like, if they know that part, but I'm like, oh yeah, we dealt with this group. They got to know that Jahlil Rahim started this. This is his brainchild. I'm just here. I'm a facilitator, brother. That's all.
Nah,
I came in to do the classes. That's it.
I'm thankful for you and all the members. I would tell the members all the time, like, look, I could facilitate all I want to, but it's y'all that's showing up.
Man,
it's y'all that's there's no meeting without y'all in attendance. You feel me?
Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying you created something where these brothers, every time I mention this to somebody, and they go, oh, so it's no, brother, they don't get no credits, no units, and they're after school.
This shit was fun though. Like I'm not.
No, I feel you. This is, and that's why people are like, and no, we're not the why. We don't have the resources of the Boys and Girls Club. We're not funded. We don't get anything for this. Like you said, all we needed was the space, a room, and y'all tried to be kind of funky with that in the beginning. But the reality is it stood the test of time, and that's only that. Everything that I'm saying is just a confirmation of just how divine this project is, brother. Because if somebody read everything that I saw on paper, they would be saying to themselves, no, that don't happen. No way. And the brother that started the group is no longer there. And yeah, and you still there, and the group is still going, and a whole group of seniors. And they still come back, and they still connected, and they're still a brother.
Yeah,
I already know what's going through their mind.
Say it again. Pandemic, we were still having the little Zoom.
Wednesday 3:30 ain't stopped in 5 years. Even in a pandemic, it ain't stopped.